to this Zoom call tonight. I'm Marlene Trenham. I am a director with the Chamber of Commerce, and I currently sit on the executive as the secretary of the board. And of course, the reason we're here tonight is because some of the faces on the board will be changing at the AGM coming up on the 24th. Voting starts very soon, and we'll hear more about that a little later. Tonight, our presentation is coming to you with the help of HEK Yeah Media, with Manny and Christy looking after things for us tonight, and we appreciate so much the support that they give us for all of these events. This call is being recorded. So when we get to, excuse me, Q&A or anything like that, if there's something that you don't want to have said publicly and recorded, don't say it. Save that question for another time, or we can go off camera later and you can ask your question then. So for now, we are going to get right into the whole purpose of our evening, and that is to meet the candidates. Now, for those people who are eligible to vote, please know that you'll be able to vote for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 of our 8 candidates, and you're going to get a chance to meet them here now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to start now. Terry drew earlier to see what order people were going to come in, and so I've got a list in front of me. We're going to start with Colton.
Perfect. Oh, wow. Just shot me up there pretty big. Hi, everyone. My name is Colton Chaney. I'm the branch manager at Prospera Credit Union here in town. I moved to Penticton just about 3 years ago for this position. And since transitioning here, I've found a large passion for community involvement. I started working with the Chamber of Commerce pretty early on when I started here, hosted a couple of business after businesses, and in December of 2019, I was honored to be selected as one of the replacement board members, and in March of last year, I took over as the treasurer for our executive team, and I've been doing that for the last 12 months. I'm really hoping to continue doing that as well with the same group. I really love working with the Chamber. I found a lot of really rewarding time spending working with the advocacy committee, on the executive committee, and just trying to help out with whatever initiatives I can. I also sit on the board for JCI Penticton as their treasurer, and chair some committees, most notably the Valley Drive, which we've done for the past 3 years, and we're going to be doing again this year. So really any opportunity I can to help out, whether it's with the Chamber, JCI. I also am involved with the United Way. I do some stuff with them every year as well. And yeah, I'm really passionate about helping my community. I love networking. I love business development, and my financial background definitely comes in handy for financial related activities that are involved with the Chamber of Commerce. So I really hope to have your support in being nominated again to be part of the board for the next 2 years, and to continue on helping out in the treasury role as well. So thank you so much, everyone who's here, and I hope to receive your votes.
Thank you very much, Colton. Let's move on to Dale.
So as someone who's been on the board with Colton for a while, let me say we thank him for all his work from a financial standpoint, because he's been a great addition to the board. There's so many different areas that you need to focus on when you sit in chamber meetings, and the finances were a big part. So we've tried to find people that can fit different roles, and Colton's certainly been able to do that. And when I look at the list of everybody else that's running and everybody else joining us as guests tonight, it's great to see. I think the strength of what we've been working on over the years has been a committed board that shows up at every meeting, comes out to events. So as you can see, I've got my Penticton V's shirt on here. I represent the Penticton V's on the Chamber. And if anybody's been affected by COVID-19, there's been a lot of businesses certainly, and the V's have been one of them. They'll lose big money this year. They haven't played a regular season game. But I can tell you, and you guys will be probably some of the first to hear, that I think there's some good news coming tomorrow, and I think there'll still be some games. So So that's great to see, because, you know, representing that business, you feel for what's happening with the local businesses that we have in Penticton. And that's what we're all about, is working for them, advocating for them, trying to promote them as best that we can. And the bees, I think, have been a big part of that, from drawing people into the community that frequent the hotels and restaurants and everything else like that. I got involved in the chamber a couple of years ago, was elected as a director, so I'm finishing my first term. It's been a great learning experience, and I look forward to serving again for another couple of years if that all happens. I like the connections that we're able to build between businesses. And many of the people that are running, and again, what a great group of people to look forward to as directors. But everybody's involved in the community, and I think that's the beauty of it. I've been in the Okanagan for about 7 years and have been in Penticton for over 3 now. I spent a couple years doing the morning news at the radio station, and when I came here, I really didn't know too many people, but I got involved right away, and the chamber was one of the first places where I did that. I could represent the radio station. I turned into being able to MC a lot of the events, had the pleasure of emceeing the Business Excellence Awards for a couple of years, and thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity to represent the chamber and represent the community as well. I helped out a little bit about a year ago with memberships, and I just want to relay one story, and it was over at Prospera with Colton when he hosted a Business After Business. And I stood back and I looked at 2 different people that I'd worked with to become chamber members. They both became chamber members, and they were both talking, and they had construction type business or sub trades that they could work together on projects. And I thought that's the beauty of chamber. What it's all about is connecting those businesses, letting them feed off each other, and they get more business because of it. So I look forward to getting things back to somewhat normal when we can go to events. I think Business After Business is one of the great events that we have. I'm involved in a few other things. I work with Total Restoration, our 2020 sponsor for our Business Excellence Awards. I do community engagement and marketing, and work at the Painted Chair in Oliver a few days a week with some special needs people, along with hopefully going to Bees games soon. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming out tonight and joining in on all this.
Thank you, Dale. Let's move on to Aisha.
Hi, everyone. My name is Aisha Barlock, and I am the co-owner and operator of Elma Restaurant on Okanagan Lake. We decided to move back to Penticton in 2017 and embark on an entrepreneurial adventure, as we like to call it. And that meant returning to a community and creating connections to my community on a very different level, now as an operator of a small business. And my husband, Mike, and I, we actually participated in some of the chamber Business After Business events even before the restaurant was open. And it was such a wonderful group of people to be amongst. And, even before we were open, it just got us really excited to, one day open the restaurant and then, being full-fledged members of the chamber. So I grew up and worked in my parents' hospitality business all my life. And now running a restaurant myself, I believe that I can bring an inherent awareness to the environment that the tourism industry operates in. Representation of tourism and the hospitality industry is so important because they play such a significant role in our local economy, and being a part of the board and helping to identify opportunities and issues collaboratively and working together to build a more positive business environment would be extremely fulfilling for me. So as per my educational background, I do thrive in an environment dedicated to policies and procedures. It's something that I love. If being a lifetime student could be an actual profession, I would definitely be all for it. While I do not have many years of board of directors experience, I have been lucky enough to, throughout my career, to have had the ability to practice my diplomatic teachings by helping to influence decisions through dialogue and negotiation, sitting on multiple working groups on policy issues with the provincial government, and also on a wider scale, within the European Parliament. So I'm extremely dedicated to learning, and I believe it is a lifelong habit that I have cultivated quite well. So that's it, and thank you, and I look forward to your support.
Thank you, Aisha. Let's move on to Kim.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kim Palmer. I am the Executive Director of the Okanagan School of the Arts. For those who don't know about the OSA, we provide visual, performing, and culinary arts programming for students of all levels and ages. Our aim is to promote creativity and connection for folks in Penticton and the surrounding communities. I am also the community manager at Co-work Penticton, so right downtown on Nanaimo Street, which is an exciting environment of entrepreneurship and energy to be around every day, and it's just great to be part of that downtown business community as well. I have been in Penticton for just 2 years, just had my 2-year anniversary, and it's been a ride. It's been a really fascinating experience. And I think one of the things that has most amazed me is this business community and the way, particularly through COVID, everyone has come together to support one another. From community future calls every day so we can figure out how to deal with all the government programs and all the paperwork and everything that's going on, to the Love Local Penticton campaign, encouraging everyone to support our local businesses. There's a level of support and kinship there that I've just never seen before, and it made me want to be more a part of this business community. From the beginning, I've been welcomed by the Chamber. One of my first events here after just being here for a couple months was a business after business. And I found myself adopted and led around the room and introduced to all the people I needed to know to get myself engaged in the community. That's something else I want to be able to help with. I think the Chamber does an amazing job of welcoming new people and helping them navigate the world of joining Penticton, and I want to be part of that. My background also includes a lot of event coordination, social media work, communications. I'd love to be able to contribute to the Chamber with some of those skills. Overall, I am so impressed with the body of candidates. As always with these gatherings, I'm amazed at this community, the diversity, the support, and I want to be part of it. I want to do more, and that's why I'd like to be part of the Chamber Board. Oh, and of course, our arts community, our incredible, thriving arts community. I would love to represent and liaise with that group as part of the Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you very much, Kim. Ladies and gentlemen, we are halfway through our group of candidates, and I think all of you have commented so far on what a great group it is, and we're going to continue to learn more about the next 4 candidates. Moving on to Spencer.
Thanks, Marlene, and thanks for everyone that's put their name forward for to run for the newest edition of the board. That's great. My name's Spencer Brown. I'm a group benefits and financial services broker with Brown Benefits. I've been on the Penticton Board of Directors since 2019, and before that served as an ambassador. My priorities are to find ways to best serve the membership through there's a diverse set of offerings that the Chamber has, from advocacy, benefits, connections, etc. And I like to, take in as much feedback as I can from the business community and, contribute, to the organization as how we can best serve our members. One of the most fulfilling initiatives I've been part of on the board over the last 2 years was the ad hoc human resource committee that we struck when we had our most recent executive director, Diane, come on board. I was part of the committee that interviewed candidates and eventually hired Diane. So that was fulfilling, interesting, and challenging. I think I bring a unique perspective to the board, being part of a small family business and also having the privilege of working with hundreds of small and medium-sized businesses in the community. So I get to, you know, provide one of the benefits that the chamber offers to the local business community, but also get to, you know, discuss and collaborate with a lot of these businesses to find out what their challenges are and how, you know, our business and the chamber and the community as a whole can help them out. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Spencer. We're going to move on now to Harpreet.
Thank you, Marlene. My name is Harpreet Sidhu, and I am looking forward to running this year for the Penticton Wine Country Chamber of Commerce. Over the past 4 years, I have had a chance to really learn how to be on a board as a member, and then as an executive member, president, and past president, going through all those stages through JCI Penticton, which I think was a good crash course to get me ready to run at this level. The one thing that I really picked up in JCI was that it's a learning organization where we learn how to improve ourselves so that when we get out into the real world, we're ready to get things going. With my time at JCI, I was able to sit on numerous committees and chair events, doing everything from fundraising to sponsorship, taking care of communication, organizing people for volunteers, and all sorts of pretty much everything you could think of to get a successful event run. In the past year, since the start of COVID, we've had a lot of changes in the way things are being done. But I have to say that a lot of the stuff that I picked up at JCI has helped me not only personally, but also professionally with staying organized and being a part of this community. The good thing about the Penticton community is how well everybody comes together when it's needed. For example, last year in April, we decided as JCI Penticton to host a virtual gala to raise funds for the Community Foundation of the South Okanagan. And in under a month, we were able to raise, not only get sponsors, sell tickets, get the business community involved, but raise $20,000 for the South Okanagan Community Foundation, which was done from the leadership of our wonderful members. With the chamber itself, I have seen numerous advantages as a new business owner that has helped me not only meet new people, but also get my business known in our community and help those that are in our community as well with their businesses. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Moving on now to Alex.
Hi, everyone. Definitely some faces I recognize and some that I don't. So nice to see you all. Yeah, thank you very much to past board members and the current candidates. It's a an honor and a privilege to be part of the group. So for those that don't know me, I can introduce myself, give you a little bit of backstory. I think I've had a somewhat unorthodox career path, I guess, career progression. So 2009, graduated from chef school, the Stratford Chef School, with a diploma in professional cooking, got my red seal as a chef, and then worked in hospitality, pretty much every facet, catering to worked at a remote heli ski lodge to fine dining restaurants, and then eventually ran my own business with my wife. So we had and still have a small hospitality company. She does mostly event planning now. But that was kind of my introduction to the Penticton Chamber. We joined as members, I think, back in 2015, 2016. Grew our business. We had a staff of about 25 full and part-time at our peak, mostly seasonal. And then wound down. I decided to kind of do a bit of a career shift. So moved into banking, completed a Bachelor of Commerce in Entrepreneurial Management. So I got to lean on the experience that I gained as a business owner and took that to finish my bachelor's degree And now my current role is as a business account manager at the Royal Bank, working out of Penticton and out of the Oliver branches, and kind of helping out in the Similkameen and all around the South Okanagan. So yeah, it's been a really interesting kind of development, especially stepping into the new role. I get to work with about 180 clients in my portfolio of all sorts of businesses, different industries. I get to see the nuts and bolts and behind the scenes of all these different sectors that we have in the Okanagan. So it's been really interesting, and I think with the experience that I have as a business owner and working with these clients, I've got a lot to offer the board for sure. I've been involved a little bit over the years with the board on the events committee. I've volunteered with the restorative justice program in town. Done lots of fundraising for the OSNS. Got some sponsorship for the mayor's nominee reception. So yeah, I love to stay active and work in the community. And as I kind of build my capability, I love to share that with everyone and work towards growth and kind of the joint goal of the economic and civil well-being of our business community. So thank you very much for your consideration. And yeah, good to see you.
Thank you, Alex. Before we move on to our last speaker, I just want to remind you, if you have some questions that you would like to have answered, you can type them into the chat. We will be opening up for some live questions in a few minutes. But before we do that, our final candidate to be sharing with us this evening is Joseph.
Hello. Well, I'm really pleased to be associated with Chamber, because Chamber is the center point for our economy here. And when the economy is strong, when business is strong, people are happy. Things can get done. Your sports team can get a sponsorship. And just one example of many things that happen when we have a strong business community. My own background is I was started and grew a number of businesses, and right now I'm a business coach. So I coach with people who are usually the owners or certainly senior influencers in their own businesses. So directly I've owned 6 companies, and indirectly with my coaching work, I've been involved with about 200 more. So I'm really very much involved in business. I like it. I still don't fully understand it. It's this magical thing that does these amazing results with people. People is the center point of it all. So Chamber is a vehicle, and I've always tried to contribute to Chamber, because I feel you get your most bang for your buck when you're a volunteer with Chamber, because it multiplies so much. So Chamber has these A, B, C, D principles. Advocacy is the effort of the group on behalf of something that needs to be done. We advocate for each other for the common good. And the A, that's the A, and the B is business. And we are very focused on business, because that's where the money gets made. That's where the flow of cash begins. Business dies, the community dies. C is communication, collaboration, cooperation, all the things that we need in order to grease the wheels of the success of business, and therefore the success of the community. And ABCD is democracy. The Chamber is a democratic organization. Everybody gets a chance to speak. Everybody get a chance to contribute. And it's not just a few in a dark room somewhere. It's anyone, you, it's me. I'm a one-person business, and here I am. Very important that we understand what Chamber is, and why I want to contribute, why I want to continue to contribute, why I'm asking for your vote. Let's get to it. Is because I believe that the effort put into Chamber is multiplied by the maximum amount, and is very good for all of the community. Well, thank you. I'm Joseph Seiler, and I will very much appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Well, we've heard from each of the candidates. just before we go to questions, I want to note that 7 of these 8 wonderful people will be joining Nicole, Jonathan, Lindy, Lee, Daryl, Hannon, and myself on the board. I wish we could have all 8 of you, because I think all 8 of you are excellent candidates. I do hope that whomever is the one person that's not elected, that you will realize that perhaps it's because you weren't as well known, but not because you weren't a worthy candidate, and that you will continue to support the chamber, become more known over the next year, and run again in the future. So as we move on to some questions, I do see a couple in the chat, which we will address here. But Christy and Emmanuel, Terry, I have a very small screen. I can't see everybody. If you do see someone raising their hand or using the raise hand feature under reactions, please let me know so that we can address those questions. But one question here is to all of the candidates, and we'll get each of you to address it briefly, or those of you who wish to address it. Especially those, it says, with financial backgrounds, what do you propose can be done in the next year to increase the chamber's funds and leave us in the green or black? Maybe we should go in the same order as we went before, and we'll start with Colton.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah, for the question. Great question. Of course, we're still kind of stuck in this world of COVID right now, so we're kind of cautiously, optimistically planning for the year. But just judging on how we did last year, you'll see our financial report in a couple of weeks when we present that. But we actually had a phenomenal year. We ended up in the green, and with a organization like this, we don't want to be too cash positive every year, or else we're going to run into tax issues and stuff like that. So we have an amazing group with Diane and Terry kind of manning the ship. And I think that, everything that we've done in the last year, we've showed that we're really resilient. We've shown that we can transition when we're in the face of adversity. And, this year, even if we can't hold any large events, I'm confident with the budget that we have in place that we'll still be able to run a great year. And of course, we love to see everyone's faces and do all the things that we used to do. But just considering our team, and especially with our strong events committee as well, everyone's putting their heads together, and I'm very confident that we're going to continue to have success, even if we have to face what we went through last year. So thank you.
Thank you. Dale, do you have any comments?
Well, I won't take up too much time because I don't have the financial background that some of the others in the group do, and I want to reserve them enough time. But I guess all I can say is spending some time with it, and especially with membership, it's increasing membership and bringing more people into the mix. And we all know that things will get better, or we are confident of that, so that we can get back to some events, which adds to our connection that much more between businesses. So I think a big part of moving forward to help the financial bottom line is just to increase membership, and that just gets more people connected along the way.
Thank you. Aisha.
Yeah, I also do not have a lot of financial background, so I can't comment too much about it. But being a relatively new business in operation for less than 2 years, I definitely know just getting, like Dale commented, I think just getting the new businesses to see the benefits of the chamber, same thing with membership, but even, I know that the chamber ambassadors do a great job of that. I was approached by Joseph almost 3 years ago, before we were even members, and I had a wonderful conversation with him at the event at Prospera. So, that was really influential for us, in wanting to become part of this community. So whether it's, obviously it really can't be done in person too much, but even events like this, maybe holding more events to be able to invite those new businesses would be, I think, just a wonderful idea.
Thank you. Kim?
Of course, I can't disagree with anything that's been said about membership. Recruiting more members, showing them the value is obviously going to increase the revenue stream. I think the other thing that could be considered, because I've certainly learned a great deal in the last year about balancing the books for an organization, is giving the people who do participate and who do have the means the opportunity to donate. So I love the fact that as a chamber member, so many of the events are no cost. But if there was an option for the businesses who were doing exceptionally well or who were still having a good financial year, the opportunity to donate even a few dollars for each event could also add to that revenue stream if it's needed, which I understand it sounds like we're doing pretty well otherwise, but it might be an opportunity to increase that cash flow a little bit.
Thank you. Ideas, yes. Spencer.
I'd have to continue with the theme that's been mentioned so far, but I just think, especially with events, one of the pillars of what the chamber does being, somewhat up in the air, although things appear to be trending in the right direction. I think continuing to focus on adding value to existing and potential members will, continue to drive membership revenue and keep the chamber in a strong financial position.
Excellent. Harpreet.
Well, I'm definitely not the financial person. Colton can attest to when we have events and I give him a handful of crumpled up receipts and a bag of cash and be like, I think this balances out. But a couple of things that I think the chamber has done really well this past year is the engagement it's had with the membership and especially drawing in new members. When we joined as a business, I have to say that I felt like we were welcomed in so well. We sat down with Dale at the time, was dealing with members, and he went over the entire package. We always had, when COVID started, Terry was calling us up on a regular basis, like every couple of weeks, to make sure we were doing okay. That stuff, in my opinion, helps so many people want to be involved with the chamber. The other part that I think that we can really increase on, and I know it hasn't been maybe done as much as in past years, is the sponsorship out there. I know that there's a lot of businesses that are struggling, but they're with COVID, but I also know that there's a lot out there that maybe have benefited due to the changes, and maybe it's time that those businesses kind of say, hey, you know what, we usually don't do a lot, but now is the time for us to really be the ones that come out and be those businesses that help promote not only the chamber, but our own business community here so that everybody can succeed.
Thank you. Alex.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a little bit on the outside looking in. Hopefully that'll change, but yeah, I think we've all been through a fair bit of disruption over this last year as a result of all the challenges that COVID has presented. So I feel like probably the best strategy moving forward is to really drive the focus of the chamber and lean on kind of the core values, member engagement. So make sure that we're leveraging existing membership, maybe membership that hasn't been super involved in the past, and then also focused on, anecdotally, we see lots of kind of new business activity, new people moving here, leaving either the Lower Mainland or Alberta or farther afield to come here and either continue their careers or try something new. So leveraging, that entrepreneurship that's coming into the community as well. And then just really focus on understanding, what are kind of the revenue drivers and making sure that we're leveraging or exploiting those as best as possible. It sounds like the chamber's in a strong position so far, but that's a great spot to jump off from and continue building from there.
Thank you. Joseph. I don't seem to be hearing
Joseph. I unmuted you. You can talk now.
I'm here.
Okay, there we go. Go ahead.
As far as all of this comes to, in my view, all of this comes down to membership benefit. I think Terry has done a wonderful job of surfacing different ways to replace what we've become used to We had speed networking. We used this Blitz program, which was all kinds of fun. And there are other ways that we have substituted the old networking with some new ideas and new ways. And this is going to be really novel for some people, but I picked up the phone, as did other directors. We agreed to do this. Pick up the phone. Here's your list of members. Call them up. And people love to help. So I call up the Acme Corporation and says, wow, what do you think we should be doing to help you? And you go, oh, well, me, really? And you have that conversation and outcome to wonderful ways that we can be the chamber that we are meant to be and that we advertise ourselves to be simply by offering to help. Telephone still works well. That's what I got to say.
Thank you. Now, I know that each of you candidates can be reading these questions along with me here that are coming up in the chat. So we're going to mix up the order a little bit this time. And the next question that we have here is, what is your creative solution or idea for the future of the chamber and local business community? And I'm going to go first to Spencer.
All right. I would say that, having had the experience of the last year, I think the chamber has done this quite well so far, but I think you have to continue to adapt and be, open to new ideas and listen to the business community. Some of the initiatives the chamber's done so far, involving virtual events, virtual business after business, things like this are great. And if we need to continue to evolve in that direction, so be it. But I guess the ability to adapt and pivot quickly should circumstances change and we head back towards more in-person events. I think it would be, as a board member and as a board, we'd have to, adapt to that as quickly as we can.
Thank you, Spencer. Harpreet?
For myself, like, this question can be answered. It has so many different areas for it. Like, there's so many things that we could be doing in a creative way. One thing that I would love to see is, I like the fact that in the past year or two, the chamber's been working with other groups as well and just kind of broadening their exposure in the community. In the past, like when I first started working in Penticton about 10, 12 years ago, it was considered the old boys club. And that's kind of like what the chamber was known as. And now I feel like it is very much a very diverse group of people, all different types of businesses, different things that we're all getting involved in. And the fact that, we're partnering up with JCI, with Women's Enterprise Center, with Rotary, all that kind of stuff, that it just makes us, it helps us build on that. And it allows us to expand the business, what each of our businesses here in our community can do, and make that a better place for everybody.
Thank you. Alex?
Yeah, I think ultimately it drives, or it comes down to the engagement of the membership, right? The whole point of the chamber is to support the members and then the broader business community as a whole. So in terms of creative solutions, I think taking an iterative approach, so really getting feedback from the membership, and I know that has happened in the past, and I'm sure will continue to happen, but again, just kind of really focus on what the community is saying and providing that value for members. As we kind of get more and more used to this virtual environment, I'm sure creative ways to do that will surface, especially with people that have the kind of advanced background that we've seen so far. So yeah, I think it just boils down to the membership and just really truly understanding how we can add value and take it from there.
Thank you, Alex. Joseph?
Thank you. I find that technology is helping us be creative because technology itself is growing, changing, responding, raising its own bar. Jennifer Vincent down at CoWork has got this new kind of app where when you meet with some group, it looks like you're in a meeting, and these little little people run around the screen. And if I'm talking to Marlene, her icon shows up in front of me, and I'm talking about it's fun. I think if we take the attitude that the COVID rules of engagement are not a restriction, they're an opportunity, and it's happening all around us. And like I say, when the handful of directors on the existing board, when we got on the phone, magic happened, and just who knew? I think if we just open the door a little bit, things will happen. It was too easy before to drift along in the background. Now, if you're in, you're in. I mean, you're right there. So it's much better, actually.
Excellent, thank you. Kim.
To follow up on what Joseph was saying about technology, I've been amazed at some of the alternatives to Zoom. Although Zoom is an incredible tool, Zoom fatigue is a thing. It's very real for many of us. So the fact that the chamber started to look at different tools like Dinner Party Online that we used at the last Business After Business. I've been talking to Jen too about the different possibilities for that application and how it can tie into a Facebook live stream and different things. Using Blitzer for the networking, looking for more of those technology opportunities. And of course, as part of the arts community, I would love to see the chamber offer more of that to the members. So, whether an event can involve some kind of a musical performance by some of our incredible performers or groups, or get everyone involved in an arts activity, whether it is something, where you pick up a package online from the Arts Council, or when we can all get together again and do a paint night. One of the things I've really seen in my life is how creating together creates connections. And I'd love to see that become part of the chamber's activities as well.
Thank you. Aisha.
Yeah, just following up on Kim's comment about connections. What I would love to be a part of and would love to see are almost like subcommittees. And, in a post-COVID environment right now, so many businesses are dealing with the after effects of the pandemic so differently. And it's very difficult right now, obviously, for all of us to come together and to kind of bounce these ideas off each other. But there's so many amazing industries and businesses in Penticton that I believe, we could all benefit from learning from them and, hearing about their experiences. And when I was a child, I'm really dating myself now, in the 80s, there was the Sunset Strip group, which was an association of motels and hotels in Penticton. And I think they met quarterly. And I remember my parents getting dressed up and attending these events. And, it was wonderful for all these motel owners or managers to come together and to kind of discuss the issues that they were facing and to come up with solutions. And these, whatever kind of came of these events, they were able to take to the chamber or take to the city, And so I think, things like that, especially with, how we're all dealing with COVID, could be something that's really beneficial for us all.
Excellent. I was an active part of that Sunset Strip organization way back then. But thank you for reminding me. Great. We've got 2 people to comment on this, and then we're going to move very quickly to the next couple of questions so that we can get through all of them in a timely fashion here. So, Dale, any comments from you?
Well, you know what? I was going to say, we talked from a technological standpoint. We had strategic planning sessions about a month ago, and we had 2 4-hour sessions, and I didn't even know you could have a breakout session with a Zoom meeting at that point. So the technology obviously is changing all the time. It's allowing us the ability to meet this way, but I do, as Joseph mentioned earlier, try to use the phone as much as possible, and I look forward to live face-to-face meetings and those types of connections again. some of the things we talked about in those strat plan meetings were communication and membership, but also advocacy. And I mean, it's not a creative solution that way, but if I was to, throw some of those ideas out, it's having continuing with the advocacy that we have with our businesses and increasing it as much as we can, as much as the directors can do and that staff time allows. But we speak on behalf of businesses, and we've certainly heard from businesses that have had issues through COVID-19, have had issues with minimum wage and things like that, some of the government decisions that get made. So we have a great, I think, resource with the board in that we start firing questions back and forth with each other to get ideas. And Nicole Clark, our president at this point, and she's served the last 2 years, has been great for getting out into the media that much more and getting the chamber voice heard. And I think that's something we want to see continue into the future. The chamber is a viable resource for businesses and residents in this community. And people are taking notice because of that, because we're trying to get ourselves out there, deal with businesses and work with them, and then get the message out as well. So I'd like to see that continue as much as possible.
Thank you. And Colton, your comments on this topic before we move on.
For sure. And just to kind of continue on the advocacy train there, we have such a great group and great collaboration within our group. And I think the biggest thing, especially for me, when I moved to Penticton, I didn't really know a whole lot about what the Chamber of Commerce did, aside from I knew it advocated for businesses, but what does a membership entail and stuff like that. So I think that one of the big things we talked about in our strategic planning session was how are we communicating our value proposition to our existing members, and how are we ensuring that they're getting all of the advantages and services that we offer to them to support the local businesses. From there, we want these members that we have to advocate for us. If they're talking to their friend having a beer, hey, you know what, why aren't you a part of the Chamber of Commerce? I got to do this, this, and this because they offered these solutions with my membership. And with that, we can continually grow. And the more members we have, the more revenue we're driving in, and therefore the more we can give back to our existing membership. So I really think advocacy and just really honing in on what we bring to the table, how we can help local businesses is how we're going to succeed and continue to evolve for the future.
Thank you very, very much. Now, in the interest of time, and of course, as we've moved on, people have thought of more and more questions, so more have popped up. But Terry, I do believe you've got a question that isn't in the chat that we would like to have candidates answer. And before Terry asks that question, I'm going to suggest that if you can, please keep your comments on this one. We can say a lot in a few seconds when we want to 20 to 30 seconds so that everybody has a chance to speak on this. Terry?
Yeah, so this is for actually the board members that are returning and have submitted their names for this term. What was your biggest challenge with balancing your role with the chamber and your business? So this one I guess would be for Colton, Joseph, Dale, and Spencer. Did I miss someone?
No, yeah, I think that's it. And we'll go through those, but I would also like to hear some quick comments from the 4 newcomers as to how they think they will be able to manage it. So we'll start with Joseph.
Thank you. I see myself like all of these things are part of the same flow because of what I do as a coach, working with lots of businesses to help them to be more successful. Being in chamber is helping lots of businesses to be more successful. So there really is no conflict at all. The two functions reinforce each other. So I find myself being reinforced in my role in the two sides of my life. Thank you.
Great. Spencer?
Biggest point I would make is just make sure you're able to attend all that you can if you're on the board. Some people joke that half the job is just showing up, and for some people's professional lives that's more challenging than others, but I would just show up.
Colton?
At Prospera Credit Union, we're a huge on local business banking and supporting the local business economy and the members that are with it. And yeah, so I'm highly encouraged to be networking and doing any kind of community involvement that I can in my job. And so the chamber fits perfectly with it. I'm always available as much as I can, just like Spencer said. Part of it is just showing up, and I always find the time to make it up, even if I have to, stay a little bit late to work after to get some stuff caught up. But balancing my time for this has definitely not been an issue, and I look forward to doing even more as we get out of this COVID mess.
Dale.
Well, I represent the Penticton Bees. I do different things for them, some sponsorships in a normal year, color on the radio and TV broadcasts in a normal year. But I don't work there full time, and because I have other jobs, other commitments, but other interests as well. So I kind of play my role with the chamber in that if something happens at the Speedway, I do the announcing up there and I hear about it, it might be an idea that could get brought back. I think we're all involved in a lot, and I know everybody that's in this group is as well. And that's what brings the ideas back to the chamber. So it's not really a challenge. As the guy said, you want to be at the meetings, and especially the business after business, because I think it shows great director support to be at those types of events.
And just some quick comments from the other 4 candidates on time commitments. Aisha?
Yeah, I'm a huge believer in you get what you give. And really, it's just a matter of, I think, being able to manage your business expectations with that of the with the chamber. So the business after business, absolutely, but to also be that sounding board for other businesses that may come to you, and then be able to take that information and then to relay it back to the board as well is very important. And finding the time to also do that, tying it into whether it be through your business or through a different kind of business. But yeah, just to be able to put as much effort into it as you can.
Thank you. Alex?
I think it's about prioritizing, and yes, my day job is important, but the chamber is critically important as well to not only my business but also the business community as a whole. So there's always more hours in the day, and we just need to prioritize where we want to spend those hours. And I think the kind of varied experience that I have is certainly it's important to share that as much as possible. So yeah, we'll make it work.
Harpreet?
So for myself, I've gotten very good at taking my calendar and just filling it in on all the different time slots. And the big thing is also finding time to block off for working on those commitments when you make them. Like, let's say there's a task that needs to get done, but it's something I have to do on my own. I physically block off an hour to be like, today I have to work on this one little thing and get it done because it's expected to be done before the next meeting or whatnot. The other thing that I find when it comes to time commitment is trying not to take on more than you need to, or that you should. One thing I find is on a lot of boards that I sit on, it's the same 4 or 5 people or 6 people that are always doing everything. You see them at all the meetings, and then all that leads to is a lot of burnout, and that's how things get lost or misplaced or not quite done when it should have been done. So it's knowing when to say no is the most important part about it. Is like, yep, this is my commitment and this is what's going to happen with it.
Thank you. And Kim?
The Okanagan School of the Arts has been through some major changes in the past year. So one of my biggest roles right now is reminding everyone that we still exist and that we are moving forward with new programming. So anything I can do to be out in the community, even saying Okanagan School of the Arts, is fulfilling a large part of my current role with my quote unquote day job. So I definitely see being part of the chamber as completely complementary to that. And also the 2 hours every day that I'm front and center at co-work, I think also makes me very accessible. And I see that as being a real advantage to me in that forward-facing role if I am fortunate enough to be elected to the Chamber Board.
Thank you, Kim. Now, I know we're running just a few minutes behind, so I'm going to move very quickly. Thank you to all the nominees for your presentations to us this evening, for your comments on the questions. I know there's more questions there. We may be able to answer some of them following the formal part of this presentation, but I want to move right now to Terry, who's going to share with us some information on the online election process, because this is different for us this year.
Yeah, hi guys. So this is our first AGM that will be virtual. We were fortunate last year to have our AGM in the first part of March, just before the world shut down. One of the things that we're going to implement this year is an online election voting process. So what will happen, and many chambers have been doing it for the last couple of years, even though they hosted in-person AGMs. So what will happen is the primary email for your business, for the businesses and organizations, will receive like a voting key. Once that voting key has been activated, it's null and void. And it will only be going to chamber members who are in good standing. So what good standing means is that their membership dues are paid up for 2021. And if we, and then that's how we consider a good standing member. And then if members have not updated their chamber dashboard, their voting key is going to go to an email of maybe someone that's no longer with their business or organization. So that does create me lots of panic because 2020 has been an unusual year, and we're just hoping that that they've updated their information. Also, if the voting fee is going to maybe to a member, the primary who isn't engaged with the chamber, but you are, or you know someone that is, they can ask that primary to sign a proxy form that would grant you the voting rights for your organization. So if I look at a large bank, maybe their primary might be someone different than someone that's actually involved in the chamber world. So then that person would want to go to their proxy and have it, that primary, and have their information signed. So all of those email links, ideally in a perfect world, I wanted them to go out today, but I want to make sure that it's 100% correct. So I am taking a little bit more time, and they will be sent out Monday. So the election process will happen from Monday the 15th up until the 23rd. Then on the 24th, we will have our scrutineer come in, and they will tally up the votes, and we will, well, they'll just tabulate them because the system actually does it for us, which is great. Then we will be announcing the new board at our AGM on the 24th for our members to approve. So that's that number one feature. So which is completely different for us. Like, we are stepping outside of the box, huge for us, but I think it's really great. I think we will see more engagement from our members this way, because a lot of times they cannot attend the AGM. The other thing that I wanted to announce is it is already on our website, but we have secured our keynote speaker for our AGM. We're super excited to announce that Mayor McHale will be our keynote speaker. With her launching her book just before COVID, and the whole finding your cape, changing your course, and adapting. There's so many relevant subjects and chapters in her book that our theme for the AGM is resiliency. And more than ever, I am astounded every day by the resiliency of our community, our academics, our business, on how they've just continued to move forward, adapt in a very little notice, and make these amazing changes to still keep moving forward. So we're excited about that. I think with Mayor being our keynote speaker, it will allow the opportunity for non-chamber members to attend our AGM, which they're welcome to do. They will have to pay though to attend. That is not a complimentary service for them. So please share with your friends and your coworkers to attend our AGM. We always try to have fun components like speed networking and casino night and pachakucha, But this year, we are going back and having a very impactful keynote speaker. So once again, thank you for your time. Also, just wanted to kind of backtrack a little bit on that last question on how you can, between your business and your chamber commitments. We understand you all have businesses. We understand you have families and lives outside of your business and your chamber commitment. So if you cannot attend evening events, there's lots of opportunity for you to support during the daytime. And if you can't do daytime, then there's lots of opportunity to support in the evening. So don't think, oh, I can't attend every evening event that I won't be effective. There's so many ways to be effective. And also with Marlene's comment that, yes, we only have seven positions open. So if you are not the successful board of director this year, we have lots of committees that you can sit on. You can join as a member at large. You can join as a chamber ambassador. That starts to get you into that chamber network and understand kind of more that back end fixing of it. That's my only little bit of plug on, if you are not the successful candidate, please understand there's so many other ways for you to still have a strong impact in the chamber. Thank you.
Hey, Terry, I don't know if you saw, but Sarah Tucker has a question about voting.
And that question is, how many people from a business are allowed to vote?
It's one vote per business, and that voting key will go to the primary. So Sarah, it will go to you because you're the primary. And the primary is the person that opened up or has control over your chamber membership. So very good question, but it is one vote.
Excellent. Thank you, Terry. Remember, please, to vote. It is important. This recording will be posted where members can watch it over the next couple of weeks as they make their decisions on who they're voting for. And as always, with any election, you may vote for up to 7 candidates. You don't need to vote for 7. Vote for your 2 or your 3 favorites. However you wish to exercise your right to vote, please do so. And I think now I'm going to turn it over to Jonathan.
Thank you, Marlene. Well, it's a good informative session there. So thank you, Marlene, for running this. You did a great job. And for all the candidates, thank you for taking the time to put your name forward in this very important process for the chamber. Your service and your contribution to the chamber is very much appreciated, and taking the time tonight to be here. As well for all the guests who participated, and HEK Media, thanks for being there as well. To take care of organizing this. And Terry, of course, we couldn't have done this without you. So 2 thumbs up to you. Great job again. But the thing that just want to wrap up here now, and we have a door prize, and we have a $25 gift certificate to Cherry Lane Shopping Center provided by the Chamber of Commerce. So the lucky person is not me. It is Carrie Berger with Work BC. So congratulations, Carrie. And you can pick up your gift certificate at the chamber office, and or just give them a call, and I'm sure they can arrange something up if that doesn't work out. Yeah, so thank you everyone for coming out tonight and taking time to participate. And mark March 24th on your calendar, so you get out there and attend the virtual Zoom session for the chamber, for the AGM. It should be interesting. I look forward to it. I think some more things came in. Yeah, that was thank you from Carrie. Thank you. You're welcome, Carrie. And Work BC is hosting our Business After Business on March 18th. So I'll turn it over to Marlene. If there's, I'm not sure if you want to, if there's you're going to keep this open for a little while.
For those people who wish to stay, I know some of our candidates do need to move on to other commitments this evening, but we will stop the recording now. And for those people who maybe have a here,